The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Hey, a few thoughts about this recent issue that's going on in my state of Kansas. In Topeka on March 28th, there is scheduled to be a black mass held by a group of Satanists, Satan worshipers, and it's caused quite the uproar in the state and has made national news. So a couple of comments on this, and I'll be brief. Look, we need political leadership in this country and in this state, in particular Kansas, that's not afraid to stand up and say, we are off track with regards to the divine providence of God and the intent of the founding fathers. Satanic mass is not what the founding fathers had in mind or intended when they drafted our First Amendment of free speech. Satanism and witchcraft and so forth back in the day of our founding fathers, if anyone had tried to pull off what they're doing in Topeka, they would have been executed, shot, hung, or burned at the stake. Look, establishment politicians are going to make statements because they think they have to balance their opinions with the will of the people and the judicial precedents that have been set forth in this country. Judicial precedents are also off track with the divine providence of God and the intent of the founding fathers. There's no one with any shred of intellectual maturity who could make a case that, logically speaking, yes, the founding fathers wanted Satanism to be practiced in this country. Satanism is not even a religion. It's a cult, abhorrent group. It's a manifestation of everything that the founding fathers fought against and stood against. So Governor Kelly, Laura Kelly, the governor of Kansas, comes out and she originally was going to allow this black mass to happen within the walls of the Kansas Capitol. She has since changed her mind and said it's got to be held outside. And her statement reads as such: as governor, I also have a duty to protect protesters' constitutional rights of freedom of speech and expression, regardless of how offensive or distasteful I might find the content to be. Okay, I'm going to comment about that, but hang on, because the president of the Senate, who's a Republican, in Kansas, the Republicans have a supermajority in both houses, the House and the Senate, owned by the Republicans. Ty Masterson is the president of the Senate, a Republican. His statement to the public was, in part, it read as this: the First Amendment protects gatherings and speech, including offensive speech, and we cherish those rights. Okay, both the governor and the senator are wrong. I extend them grace because, again, the establishment we have in this country in the elected class is not going to say anything differently. They are not. But we have got to make a stand in Kansas. This is not what the founding fathers intended. Why don't we have why don't we have someone who says this out loud? The Constitution and free speech, the intent of the founding fathers was not to blanket and cover Satanism or witchcraft or any of that nonsense, any of that evil, with the protections of the sacred right of free speech. Our rights come to us from God. Are we trying to say that God wants Satanism to be practiced on the streets? In Kansas, there's a governor's election coming up in 2026. I encourage all Kansans to think about these words that I've just told you. We need someone to run for the governor of this state who's not afraid to say out loud, we need to return this country and the state of Kansas to the divine providence of God and the intent of the founding fathers. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it. For the Republic, for Kansas. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.